Hello, welcome to the PhoneWord Workshops event on Wednesday, December the 9th, 2015. Today we are going to be redoing part of our last session from November, part 2 of 2, which was to demonstrate how to create a blockchain using DigitalOcean, as well as how to create some assets and transfer some assets. I apologize. I was not sharing my screen with my command line interface, and basically there was a lot that was lost during the session. So it's my intention to recreate that session both today as well as on December the 16th at our 11 a.m. part 2 of 2. And today I'm going to just be experimenting with basically some of the technology here on the Google Hangout to make sure that the next session is showing what there is to show, so that this is a valuable session for you. There was some feedback on the YouTube channel, which I appreciate, and somebody was expressing frustration with last month's part 2 of 2 session. I apologize for that. Your time is valuable, and it's my intention to make each one of these sessions valuable for you and to further the conversation regarding what's possible with blockchain. So this is likely to be a short session. Also, this month's sessions in December and possibly next month in January, one of the comments was that this was cut and paste. Yes, it is cut and paste. If you're looking for something more in depth, then tune in a month or two. But at this stage, with blockchain being very new to people, this is going to be very, very simple. It's not going to be much more than what you would get if you simply followed along on the MultiChain website with the instructions and just basically read it and did it yourself. The advantage of these sessions and following along and watching the recordings is you actually get to see what happens on screen, so that you know if you're still on track or if something's gone wrong, and hopefully that will minimize a little bit of the frustration that people can run into when you're experimenting with something new. So yes, this is cut and paste. Yes, it's very simple, and it's designed to be very simple. Hopefully it's as simple as possible, but it's designed to get you up and running with something that works as soon as possible and cut down on some of the frustration. So thank you for joining. I'm going to start screen sharing, and hopefully this go round you will be able to see something that shows both the command line interface as well as the and let's take a look here. Okay. Before I get into the split screen portion, I would like to mention that there was an article that was published by Goldman Sachs this week on the blockchain, and basically the title was "The Blockchain Can Change," and then dash 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 or dot dot dot, well, everything. So I recommend you take a look at this. This is on December 2nd, and it's here's an article from Business Insider, and I think this is yet another endorsement of what a profound introduction and innovation the blockchain is in a multitude of areas. So take a look at that. And now let's go to the split screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. This is the view of DigitalOcean, and here you can see the servers that have been set up with MultiChain. We did this last time. And then over here on this side of the screen, you can see the command line interface where I've logged in and SSH'd into a couple of the servers. This is server number 1, and you can see that it's running alpha 9 of MultiChain, and then this is server number 2, and this is running alpha 10 of the MultiChain platform. And you can see, so this has been running for a little while. You can see that there's 133,000 blocks now, 133,836, and take a look on both. This was 133,835. That's because the windows were open at different times. But let's go over here to the second server, and I'm going to get the info on this again, get a refresh on it, and now you can see there's 133,952 blocks, and that's because each block is, there's a block that's being created like every 15 seconds. So this is kind of an update on where these blocks are, or where these blockchains are at. And let's see, let's get into getting started. Okay, so here's the getting started with MultiChain. This is after you've done the download and install, which let's click on that. Okay, so this is the instructions for download and install, and it's suggesting you set up your servers on DigitalOcean droplet instances, which we did last time. And I'm skipping through some of these screens just to see how this records and make sure that next week, next Wednesday, December the 16th at 11 a.m., we can completely recreate the creation of a blockchain using a DigitalOcean droplet. We can create some assets, and we can then transfer some assets, and you'll be able to see over here the various servers, what happens with the various servers as these assets are created. So I apologize for being clumsy with this platform, and get the block count here, and not being able to show this all at once last week, but there's a lot going on here, and this is still a learning process. So here I've done a command of MultiChain -CLI chain1 get block count, and indeed it's giving us a block count, an updated block count of 133,960 blocks. So that is the status. Let's see if there's some other interesting things we could do. Let's get the asset balances, and there's no asset balance on this server. However, if we look on this server, and you should be able to see this down at the bottom of the screen. Okay, here's the screen down here. MultiChain -CLI chain1 get asset balances, and let's see what we get here. Okay, here are the assets that were created. Asset 2, there's a quantity of 1,000 on this particular node, and then asset 1, there's 900. And then if we were to open up the third node, we would probably see 100 of asset 1. So I'm going to cut this off a little short today because I want to review. I'm going to stop the screen share. I want to review this video and this session and make sure that things are being captured on the Google Hangout and it's displaying the way it's supposed to, or that I want it to, so that you can understand what's going on. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your interest in this area, the new area of the blockchain. And I invite you to come back next Wednesday, the third Wednesday of December at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll go through a more in-depth recreation of how to set up a blockchain using MultiChain on DigitalOcean, create some assets, exchange some assets. And if you're interested, you can actually be part of this session, and we could create a blockchain for you and possibly exchange some assets between our blockchains, which would be really, really cool. So if you're interested in that, please shoot me an email, jcarpenter@phonewordworkshops.com, and tune in then, and we'll see if we can get a little more information distributed regarding the blockchain, how it works, how powerful it is. And again, I do apologize for the person that was disappointed in our part 2 of 2 last month, and I'm intending to make sure that these sessions are valuable going forward. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to your continued participation. Goodbye.